Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
So we had so many cool and big Hollywood outsider stories this week. I never got to all of them. There were a lot of big ones. Tiger Woods showed up 2 and 3 times. You know, not only who he's dating, but who, you know, there's a movie being made about him.
Got the Achilles problem.
Yeah, the Lilo and Stitch movie. So, but there are other things I didn't get to. One of them that was a pretty big development today, as the New Heights podcast dropped on the world. Sam, have you heard this one yet about Jason Sudeikis and what he had to say about another season of Ted Lasso?
Oh, no.
Yeah, he said there's a potential 4th season on the way because he says they are writing.
Oh.
The writers are working on it.
Like
and
with Ted and everybody?
With Ted and everybody, but he would be coaching a women's soccer team.
Oh.
That's different.
Oh.
I don't know anything about that show. I just know that there's a lot of people who loved it.
Yeah.
And what did he coach before?
He coached a men's soccer team, and he was an American football coach who went over there to coach soccer.
Nice.
And I don't want to give away how the whole series ends, but they pretty much wrapped it up at the end.
Oh, well, he says,
I'm done, I'm retired, I'm going back to the States.
Yeah. Well, that's a big news, and that's a big story in entertainment today as that podcast dropped with him talking about it.
Well, that's great. Maybe
if
he's doing that, maybe they can get, a few more seasons out of that. Mm-hmm. Different storyline.
The thing about it is, though, that means that they're writing it. He and everybody else, the people who fund it, have to sign on and go, this is good enough to make or not.
They will.
It's something, it's a big money maker, but there's also that creative integrity of don't just do it to do it. If you go out on top, it's like careful not to touch that hot stove again.
It's like making movie sequels.
Yes.
Is this going to be like as good as the first one, better, or is this going to be, okay, the first one was great because we never expected that, but now we do.
I know. A sequel's almost...
The Hangover 2 and The Hangover 3.
Yeah, barely memorable. Nothing like the first one. So anyway, that was one piece of news.
That's cool.
I know. I like that. Also, this story about a new movie that's dropped in theaters, that's debuting in theaters this weekend. That's an old Looney Tunes thing.
Oh.
It's called The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie.
Here's the script. Catch up on your own time. We have to act fast, and there's only one person that can do the job. Daffy Duck.
It looks like classic old animation. It really does. It's Porky Pig and Daffy Duck. Okay. They say one of the best animated comic duos of all time, making it into the big screen to introduce new audiences to it. And so it sounds really funny. It looks really cute. It's the typical thing. They have to kind of save the world.
Yeah.
Well, that is a franchise that has not kept itself as, I guess, today as like Disney has done with its animation over the years, right? I don't know that the Warner Brothers cartoons have been as exposed.
Yeah, so, Space Jam was Warner Brothers character.
Which was 30 years ago.
It's just, it doesn't hit the same.
I want you to go watch it, though, because I feel like they made it with you in mind, meaning you thinking it's not going to hit the same, but it might hit you kind of the same.
Nowadays, if you took the Warner Brothers classic characters from back in the old days and you did it SpongeBob style, I think that kind of humor, I think it would work now, or it would carry it to a new generation.
Okay, well, I think they've done it because from you have to watch the trailer. Okay. Because to me, there is some of the today humor in it, but enough of the classic that everybody in the family could and maybe would enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay?
What's it called again?
It's called The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, and the two stars are Porky Pig and Daffy Duck. And I love those voices. I mean, just those voices send you back, and they seem really true.
If the Earth is going to blow up, I guess Marvin the Martian's probably involved
I
somehow.
think so, too. Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. Okay, another story. Now, we did touch on the fact that Meghan Markle's new show on Netflix, she's getting some negative press, and her father had some yucky words to say about the show from Meghan with Love.
I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. Surprising people with moments that let them know I was really thinking of them.
It's actually called With Love, Meghan. I'm sorry I said that wrong.
That sure sounds like Martha Stewart.
If you watch that trailer, it looks like Martha. It looks like it's just like she's showing you how to do all things her way. It does look, from my view, like my kitchen doesn't look like that when I cook.
Oh.
You know, the dog in the corner on the perfect bed. There's so much about it that's just so Megan. It's so elevated.
What is her dad saying about it?
Oh, well, we did cover that story that he's like, she's being completely false and she's pretending to be somebody. That's not how she really is. But he's that way. That's a nasty family rift. Mm-hmm. And it's sad. And who can know what to believe? Remember?
Yeah, I didn't really pay much attention to the entire story. I saw one comment that, people, there were a couple of comments that she seems really self-indulgent, maybe. I haven't seen the trailer, so I don't even know.
Well, I will tell you this. The reason I bring up the other story we didn't get to this week, but I want to get to here. She's actually also being pretty harshly critiqued by a Vanity Fair editor who says that, look, it's the show about fake perfection. And she's never figured out, this is the words that were written, she's never figured out a convincing persona masquerading as an influencer. She's the ultimate follower. It's really brutal. In other words, the reason I'm doing this story at all is like, it's really hard to be Megan right now. It's really tough. She cannot, get a hit here lately with the public, I
wonder if she's ever considered going back to acting.
Maybe.
Because that's not Harry's reason for marrying her, but that's what brought her to our attention, is her acting skills. Yeah.
On the show Suits. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, she has all kinds of choices in the world, but she's being harshly criticized, and I don't know if the show's doing well or not. It's just putting it out there. She's being harshly criticized, and that's tough. That's a tough place to be in. She has no privacy, so I guess in knowing that you have no privacy, you might as well lead a public life. And so you want to do something with your time and you want to share all these skills. And there are, famous people joining her in the show and things like that, coming over and having cake and things like that. Maybe Oprah will come over because Oprah's a neighbor.
Yeah, it's probably become really complicated for her because of her relationship with the Crown and Prince Harry and, everything.
He's got a family rift too.
Right, exactly. And all that evolved that. But I mean, she was elevated to world status because of that.
Overnight.
And so there were more people, I think, that wound up knowing her as entering the royal family than necessarily being familiar with the acting or any of the shows that she was part of,
I think how the world perceives her and what we think of her will be very different in 10 years from now, 10, 20 years from now. Let's see where, what happens with her. In other words, some people find her to be insincere. And nobody knows why. Can't put your finger on it. You just don't know. You either think she is or you think she is not. Who knows? Right. The other one, there's a new docuseries that is coming. It's already been completed, and they're shopping it around.
True crime?
No. Docuseries. I'm sorry, but this should be exciting to you. It's a 4-part series about the life and legacy of Tim Burton.
Oh.
Okay? The man who brought us Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. He's a genius, okay? And so there's a whole docuseries about him, his creative process, his vision, because his vision is so unique.
Yes, it is.
Everything he does is so unique. And so it's interviews with his frequent collaborators like Johnny Depp, like Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder's in this. And we just don't know where it's going to land. You make something like this and you put all the work into it, then you shop it around to Paramount, to Netflix, to all the places. So once we have the place where it's going to land and then where you can watch it, we'll for sure let you know.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.